Hey everyone, I'm Tim Bone and welcome to the Stealth Trading Summit. In just a moment, you're going to get an under-the-hood view of the most polarizing trading technology I've ever come across. One that allows anyone the opportunity to trade alongside Wall Street's richest, most secretive figures. This algorithm crawls through millions of lines of code in the market's darkest shadows to identify the amount of money these wealthy individuals are piling into an investment down to the penny. And it does it all in real time. But what makes this even more unusual is the man you're going to meet today isn't a former Wall Street trader. He wasn't a hedge fund manager, and you probably have never seen his face on Fox Business. Instead, the man I'm about to introduce you to is a former overseas basketball player turned tech entrepreneur and is now a full-time trader. His name is Ben Sturgill, and today he's going to reveal how he leveraged this insane technological edge to take his trading to unbelievable levels, and show you how this patented breakthrough helped them amass an 88.46% win rate in the last 6 months. But first, I want you to take a look at this. This is a patent application Ben and his team filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. They did this for one simple reason: to protect his breakthrough trading advantage from being undermined by the Wall Street insiders and wealthy elite it exposes. Like when Ben exploited a wealthy insider's investment of $599,000 on AMD to see a peak explosive move of 233% in just 2 days. Or how he identified a massive $677,200 bet on PLTR to see another peak gain of 346.4% return, and even how he piggybacked off an insider's $1.5 million trade on Google to witness an incredible peak move of 1,025% in just 4 days. If you've gotten even $1 invested in the markets, I urge you to stop what you're doing and pay close attention. Because in the next few minutes, Ben is going to reveal how he stumbled upon this hidden yet groundbreaking advantage in the markets. You'll learn how this cutting-edge technology detects what insiders are doing with their personal money down to the dollar amount. And you'll see how Ben leverages this incredible patented algorithm he calls the Spider to uncover some of the stock market's biggest moves before they explode to the moon. Ben, welcome, and thanks for making the trip from Tampa, Florida.
Thanks for having me, Tim. I'm honored to be here.
Okay, I'm going to get right to it. You're claiming that this patented market indicator can crawl through the exact moves made by billion-dollar hedge funds, corporate executives, and even insider traders. Kind of feel a little nervous even saying that out loud. Is this even legal?
I know what it sounds like, so I want to make something clear right off the bat. To everyone watching at home, if sensitive topics make you feel uncomfortable, you should leave right now. What I'm going to shine a light on today is quite controversial and might rub people the wrong way. But with all that said, it is 100% legal. And since this event is only being viewed by a select group of folks, I'm going to be very direct with everyone, even if it's not considered politically correct. So here are the facts. There is an elite hierarchy responsible for pulling the strings on Wall Street. And most folks just don't realize how bad it is. Listen, I'm all for hardworking Americans building their wealth the right way. I've experienced this on a personal level, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about financial elites who abuse their power and connections to manipulate the investments and retirements of everyday Americans to fatten their bank accounts. It's a tale as old as time. We all know about Enron. 3 top executives sold $115 million worth of Enron stock, all while telling employees to keep buying shares. And a year later, Enron's stock price plummeted from $90 all the way down to literally pennies. And a majority of its 29,000 employees lost their job and retirement in one fell swoop. Or we could go back even further to nearly 100 years ago. While everyday Americans were losing everything in the 1929 stock market collapse that wiped out more than $30 billion, Joseph Kennedy, the father of future President John F. Kennedy, accessed insider information from his corporate and political connections to walk away from the market disaster with $4 million. Fast forward to today, and greed is more prevalent than at any other time in history. Elite politicians continue to add multiple zeros to their net worth by investing in the same companies that they're elected to govern and regulate, all while hardworking Americans who follow the rules get absolutely shafted. And it all comes down to a phenomenon I like to call the information chasm. And it's been abused by the wealthy elite every single day. But because of the unique investing edge I'm going to reveal in just a moment, instead of complaining about all this happening, you can do something about it. You can piggyback the exact same moves these wealthy elites are taking to add millions to their net worth, and you can do it in real time.
Okay, I've got to be honest. What you're teasing kind of sounds like cheating.
It's like cheating, but it's 100% legal. Obviously, these powerful people who have been rigging the market for decades are not going to want us little guys cashing in on these moves. But no matter how upset they get, heck, even if they petition to get this message removed by next week, they can never take this patented strategy away from you. This means you can use this unbelievable advantage I'm sharing with you today for life.
I don't think I've ever been as intrigued by any other trading strategy in my entire career. That's not an exaggeration. This is completely different from anything I've ever seen. So can you show us how your spider technology works?
Of course. Unlike other trading strategies that rely on Fibonacci retracements and analyzing momentum, volume, and studying chart patterns for hours on end, as you'll see, leveraging Spider is about as straightforward as it gets. And although the time frame depends on the situation, unlike traditional investing strategies, most of these trades play out in 3 to 14 days. But instead of telling you, let me show you how it works. I'm sure you've heard of NVIDIA, right? Well, get this. On March 27th, completely out of nowhere, the Spider detected a stealth sweep. The timing of this was weird for a couple reasons. One, there wasn't any other coverage on this stock on the news. And two, NVIDIA was experiencing a steep decline in price. Yet one secretive big money trader initiated a massive $633,000 bullish investment in NVIDIA. Weird, right? But here's the crazy part. Not long after this suspicious bet, not only did NVIDIA's stock skyrocket, but this stealth sweep setup that the Spider identified ended up soaring to a peak of 122% in just 4 days.
Only 4 days? That's pretty incredible, especially in this market.
You'd be shocked at how many stealth sweeps my Spider alerts me to on a weekly basis. Sometimes the Spider detects trades that completely go against what the so-called experts are saying. For instance, have you heard of the company called Beyond Meat?
Oh man, one of my favorites. Everybody knows how much I love fake meat. Isn't that the company that got really popular a couple of years ago because of those plant-based meat substitutes?
Yep, that's the one. Well, on January 23rd, the Spider actually detected a series of stealth sweeps that amounted to a total bet of $91,400. Now, this completely caught me off guard because Beyond Meat stock was sinking fast before these sweeps were identified. Not only was the stock down 90% from its all-time highs, analysts were even predicting it would go down further, even go bankrupt. So when the Spider alerted me to Beyond Meat, I honestly thought there was a bug in the system. But I shouldn't have doubted the Spider because sure enough, Beyond Meat's price ended up surging. And the stealth sweep setup the Spider identified skyrocketed to a peak of 394% in just 11 days. Again, all because of the Spider's uncanny ability to detect these hidden smart money bets.
So even when the trade went against all logic and expert analysis, your Spider was still able to crawl through all the noise. It's pretty crazy. I gotta say, I'm starting to see why you're so excited about this patented indicator.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what the media is saying about a stock or any of the other noise that distracts everyday investors. Because with this patented Spider crawling through the darkest shadows of the stock market 24 hours a day, you can track exactly what the smart money is doing, down to the exact dollar, and piggyback Wall Street's biggest trades yourself. Again, the Spider can position you to profit like an insider, all without breaking a single law. Imagine not having to spend hours upon hours studying stock charts, VWAP, and other traditional indicators by simply leveraging a stock detective that works 24 hours a day with one important goal in mind: tracking in real time what wealthy insiders are doing with their cold, hard cash. Because remember, CEOs and politicians, well, they lie. News headlines, they're inaccurate. But money always tells the truth. That's why I believe this patented money detector is the legal cheat code every trader has been searching for since the New York Stock Exchange was founded in 1817.
What about the fundamental events investors normally pay attention to, like hiring a new CEO with an amazing track record, obtaining FDA approval for a new drug, acquiring a competitor's business, outperforming quarterly earnings estimates? Are you saying these factors simply don't matter?
No, it's not that they don't matter. In fact, the expectation of that kind of news or announcement is what sends wealthy investors piling into a stock, causing the price to jump. But only board members and executives will know these specifics ahead of time, before the news hits the headlines. What the information is or how they access it doesn't concern me. The only thing that matters to me is piggybacking their biggest moves. And my patented Spider crawls through the market and detects these stealth sweeps every single day. sometimes as many as 3 times a day. But that's because insider trading, well, it happens way more than most traders realize. For instance, one study found that 1 in every 10 doctors in America is a paid consultant to Wall Street institutions. That's probably why so many doctors have been caught leaking information to billion-dollar institutions in the last few years. You know, another study revealed that 1 in every 4 merger and acquisition deals involve insider trading. You've probably heard about the controversial case of Carl Icahn and Clorox. Days before Carl Icahn launched a multi-billion-dollar bid to buy Clorox in 2011, 1 or more investors placed very large bets, causing the underlying ticker symbol to skyrocket over 600% in just 4 days. Well, 3 years later, the FBI and SEC launched an investigation to determine whether Icahn and 2 other individuals rigged the market.
So what happened? Where is he today?
Well, he has a net worth of $10.7 billion. He lives in a waterfront mansion in the most expensive neighborhood in Miami known as Billionaire Bunker.
That reminds me of the recent Peter Thiel controversy during the Silicon Valley bank failure. One day before a $151 billion banking collapse, the PayPal co-founder suspiciously withdrew billions of dollars from Silicon Valley Bank. When journalists asked about why he knew to do this, he just didn't even bother to respond.
Yeah, you know, I've traded the markets for over 2 decades. And even though I've been exposed to a lot, I'm still in awe of how shameless and obvious it all is. I mean, these insiders, they aren't even trying to hide their greed. And it's only getting more rampant. Remember when I said insider trading happens every single day? Well, in 2022 alone, there were 462 insider trading cases. And again, that's just the ones that SEC caught.
So based on everything you've shown us, you don't have to be a genius to see that insider trading isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's virtually impossible to control. So how does the spider decipher whether or not something is an insider trade or not? Couldn't some of the stealth sweeps just be a retail trader placing a big bet?
Well, let me be clear. Not every stealth sweep detected by the spider is illegal insider trading. There's literally no way of knowing definitively. But it does show that a wealthy institution or individual is piling into a company's stock in an unusual manner. Let me ask you a question. Why would one individual pony up $852,700 on a ticker symbol?
Well, common sense says either this person is an absolute degenerate gambler or they know something that I don't know.
Exactly. You'd either have to be an idiot to invest over $800,000 in one company, especially in this economy, or you have access to information that gave you the confidence to take the risk of emptying your wallet into this trade. I mean, the money talks. And really, what retail trader has $852,000 liquid cash to place a single trade? That's why I say anytime the spider detects a stealth sweep, it shows you the exact dollar amount. So you can be 100% sure that smart money is piling into a stock. This is exactly why I'm going on record to say this patented detector is the most powerful advantage that any investor can access today. Here's another real example that happened recently. On May 9th, the spider detected a stealth sweep taking place in Palantir Technologies, a data analytics company out of Denver, Colorado. Interestingly, this happened the same day that Goldman Sachs listed Palantir Tech as a neutral recommendation. I doubt very many expert traders were running to their brokerage account to get a piece of the stock, but that didn't matter because the spider crawled through the darkest depths of the market and detected one wealthy insider piling into Palantir Tech to the tune of $677,200. And get this, just 1 day later, news broke that Cathie Wood's hedge fund, ARK, had just bought $43 million worth of Palantir shares. Sure enough, Palantir ended up exploding in price. And after it was all said and done, this stealth sweep, well, it went up a massive 346% in less than a month.
Wait, so you're saying that Goldman Sachs was doing this all on purpose and they were manipulating regular folks so they could pile into Palantir to capitalize off of the Cathie Wood news?
I'm not here to make accusations. I'm just showing you all the evidence. You can judge for yourself. But whatever actually happened, one thing is for certain. The spider was all over it in real time, giving us information that most retail traders never even knew about. This reason alone is why I can confidently sit here and tell everyone joining us today, if you've lost money with other strategies, techniques, and indicators in the past, it's not your fault. And I full-heartedly believe that. It's obvious that most traders like you and I are playing an unfairly tilted game against Wall Street and its fat cat insiders. But it's not that they're necessarily smarter than us. It's not their fancy offices or Ivy League college degrees that give them a leg up on us. It's the fact that they're on the other side of the information chasm. And in this market, well, information is significantly more valuable than gold or Bitcoin. It's worth billions of dollars.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. It's the very reason that companies like Google, Microsoft, and other internet companies are the most valuable in the world. They've simply made it easier than ever to access information. But you're saying that this type of intel that causes these stealth sweeps isn't accessible to guys like you and I.
Yes, until now anyways. But again, I think it's important to say that SPDR does way more than just detect illegal insider trading. If there's one thing I've learned in my career, it's this. America's wealthy elite do not gamble with their wealth. So when they start piling loads of money into a stock and this patented system picks it up, it's a clear sign that someone knows something that we don't. I mean, how do most regular people research stocks before buying? They might do a quick Google search or read what the analysts have to say, study the stock chart, check out the earnings reports. That's pretty much it, right? Well, members of the elite hierarchy, they go through extraordinary efforts to make sure they're making the most surefire investment possible. They have all kinds of tactics in their back pocket, such as flying a drone over dozens of lumber yards around the country to spy on the amount of lumber in stock before placing a massive short bet that share prices would fall, or buying 4.8 million satellite images above the parking lots of major retailers, including Walmart, Target, Costco, and Whole Foods, just to see how many customers are spending money on their products. And even hiring a private agent to spy on a founder's family and top employees to learn as much proprietary information as they possibly can.
Wait, they hired an actual spy? Like, is that really real?
Yes, that was done by the hedge fund ICOs. I could literally go on for hours telling you stories like these. I call this fierce competition the alternative data battle. It's quietly taking place among America's wealthiest elites, aiming to widen the information chasm even further. You know, a recent study by the world-renowned lawyer Vincent Pitero revealed that 2/3 of hedge funds and nearly half of private equity firms presently use alternative data to make investment decisions. An author of the Investment Intelligence, Ted Kim, said that the alternative data market will hit $100 billion by 2030. So the real question is, how can a regular, average Joe even try to compete with this? It's like asking my 8-year-old son to beat Michael Jordan in a game of one-on-one. It's impossible to compete if you don't have an edge. And for the wealthy elite, this precious information is that edge that separates them from 99.99% of retail traders, which is why, more often than not, people like you and I are getting the short end of the stick. Because once the new data and information slowly trickles its way down us regular folks, well, it's either outdated or misleading or straight up a lie to trip us up, so that insiders and big executives can stuff their pockets with our money. In fact, here's how I want you to think about valuable information, okay? Here's an analogy. Imagine someone just lit a match in a dark room. Well, it burns slowly at first. But just a few seconds later, all that's left is a charred piece of wood. This is exactly what happens to investing information. It gets scorched with every single person that hears it. For instance, when there's new information about a big event, like a patent approval or earnings announcement, or even a government contract, only a few executives know about it. Now, they're holding a burning match of valuable information. Then they start sharing intel with friends, political connections, family members. Then Wall Street traders hear whispers about it. By the time the news starts circulating on CNBC, Yahoo Finance, and Money Twitter, how many people do you think have already heard it before you? Frankly, there's nothing left. The information is as worthless as a burnt match.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly why I've been pushing so hard to develop these breaking news strategies, so we can capitalize on these huge news events that impact prices. But if I'm understanding correctly, what you're talking about is getting into these kinds of opportunities even earlier, before these events really push the prices higher. Do I have that right?
Yes, that's exactly it. Now, don't get me wrong, trading off catalysts and breaking news, well, as you've shown, they're great strategies. But the reality is the big money is already made before the press releases and news announcements come out. All right, Tim, consider this example that we're all aware of. Right, September 11th, 2001. Well, it was, one of the most terrifying and monumental moments in American history. And I can vividly remember where I was when the first plane struck the Twin Towers. Well, unfortunately, greedy investors and traders, they saw an opportunity in the making here. However, these retail traders didn't realize that the big money was already being made in the lead up to the attacks. In fact, take a look at this. Between September 6th and 7th, 4,744 unidentified put contracts were bought up on United Airlines, which was 6 times its normal option volume at the time. And then, on September 10th, one day before the attack, 4,416 puts were snatched up behind the scenes on American Airlines. That's 285 times more than their normal option volume. Now remember, this wasn't the day of the attacks. This was days, not hours, before 9/11. And after it was all said and done, United Airlines stock collapsed 42%. And American Airlines, well, it fell 39%. Now, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist, but do you think some high-level insiders knew something we didn't?
Well, based on that, it's hard to say they didn't. It's pretty unbelievable and quite disturbing, really.
It is. And it happens every single day behind the curtain. They know where the opportunities are. It's why 70% of all stock market activity is executed by these insiders and smart money elites. But the key here is understanding that these outlandish smart bets with classified intel behind them can only be kept secret for so long before they set off a stealth sweep. Once this happens, you can simply take advantage of these trades at the perfect time, after a suspicious and large trade has already been made, but way before everyone and their neighbor hears about it and jumps on the bandwagon. This is why I truly believe that the spider is completely unprecedented. There is nothing out there like it. That's why we've rushed to patent it, because at the end of the day, would you rather trust your hard-earned money to knowledge gleaned off of Google or some TradeView indicator, or would you rather make strategic trades that piggyback on these confidential inside stealth sweeps?
It's a fair point. It sounds like getting the answer is key to the test. Hell, why use any other strategy after discovering this?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. There's always some form of risk, no matter, the strategy, the scanner, or the indicator. But when I'm putting my hard-earned money at risk, I'd rather be with the smart money than against it. Remember, these institutional guys are very careful with where they put their money. They don't make risky bets. So when we see an unidentified larger than usual trade size on a stock, bets as high as 370,000 or 465,000 or 852,000, there's always a good chance that a certain someone has access to highly classified information and is preparing for a lucrative opportunity.
What you're bringing to the table is something I'd consider truly a game changer. But before we dive deeper into this groundbreaking technology, I'm interested to know, how do you even come across something like this? I know your career experience isn't on Wall Street.
No, it's not. I've never held a trading desk position at a large bank. I've never worked in private equity. I've never worked on Wall Street, which is, more rewarding because I didn't have anything handed to me. I had to struggle and lose a lot of my own money to find my way to this. But back to your question. I've always been interested in the markets. And like most, trading was more of a side hustle rather than an actual career.
I think it starts that way for all of us. Same with me. I had a business and was trading part-time for almost a decade. And because especially we all suck when we start out, so it's like, if you go full-time, it's not going to end well.
Yeah, there's no denying that. I mean, you realize quickly that you don't know what you don't know. And that's why when I accepted a scholarship to play basketball at the University of New Hampshire, I decided, to major in history. And as a history major, you kind of grow this knack for asking questions like, what's the context in this? Or why did this happen? So after college and after playing professional basketball, overseas, while I was still trying to figure out this whole trading thing, I constantly found myself asking questions like, why do 99% of traders fail? And how are insiders and institutions always beating the market? While guys like me are getting killed left and right. And, as you might guess, I quickly became obsessed with cracking the code, with finding out the why. There had to be a key to unlocking this trading enigma, right? So I dove in. And eventually I found a book by former hedge fund manager Saleha Goltekar that talked about something called the Black Edge.
Black Edge sounds like some kind of street drug or something.
Well, it kind of is. It's a valuable commodity that often moves in the dark underbelly of the markets. It's information, Tim. Goltekar writes, information, proprietary, non-public, and certain to move the markets. It's known on Wall Street as Black Edge, and it's the most valuable information of all. But, while this quote alone was interesting, she went on to write, when one professional trader was asked if he knew of any fund that didn't traffic in inside information, he said, no, they would never survive.
Wow, pretty crazy.
Exactly. When I read that, it was like a whole new world opened up. But as I continued to dig deeper down this rabbit hole, I eventually discovered that the only way I could capitalize on this was to dish out $27,000 for, a Bloomberg terminal.
$27,000 a month, mind you, not one time. I had a feeling that was coming. Did you actually spring for it then or not?
Heck no, I couldn't afford it. Especially since, at the time, all of my extra money was going toward this little SaaS company I was, trying to continue to grow. Frankly, though, it was a blessing because in the SaaS world, a ton of software goes into it. And when you're in the software business, your circle attracts other software owners and the like. So as it turns out, while, I was at lunch with a colleague who was also trading on the side, he started talking about options. At the time, I kind of blew options off because I was, mainly trading stocks.
Yeah, it seems like options always kind of hit a nerve with a lot of traders, me included. I mean, it's very complex, and I think that scares them away. Do you think that's what's happening?
Well, in truth, I just didn't understand them. And when you don't understand something, you tend to fear it and turn away from it. But I didn't know that not only are options traded basically in the exact same way as stocks, but experts have proven time and time again that the options market data provides meaningful insights on price movements. The Wall Street Journal writes, the attraction of insider trading in options is clear, since options can be purchased for a fraction of the cost of the stock itself, offering alluring leverage. This reason alone is why I continued listening to my lunch companion that day. He told me that there was, somewhat hidden option chain where you could legally see Wall Street's next big moves ahead of time, before they skyrocket in price.
So that was the light bulb moment then?
Yep, that was the official aha moment where I put two and two together. Because since discovering all of this, I believed that I had to use the same tools that Wall Street utilized to make these asymmetric trades. But in reality, regardless if I traded stocks or options, all I needed to see was exactly where the hedge fund traders and smart money folks were putting their money. That's it. As I said before, these guys, they aren't dishing out single bets of 300,000 or 400,000, even 2.3 million for no reason at all. They are leveraging the black edge information to make these trades. So forget all the mainstream indicators and technical analysis. These unusually large bets alone are all I really need as a trader to be able to focus on the absolute best opportunities in the market. Because more often than not, the result is a huge win for those guys. So why not piggyback and take advantage of this myself?
You're absolutely right. So I'm guessing that was the birth of the spider?
Yes, but even after I figured this out, I discovered that there's still quite a bit of noise within the options market. And you have to really look for the purchases that actually matter. And unless you want to be looking at a computer screen all day analyzing numbers, that's not really viable or sustainable to keep track of. So I immediately started leveraging my experience with software to develop, refine, and perfect a proprietary process. One that allows me to piggyback on Wall Street's black edge trades and show a 88.46% win rate.
It's pretty fascinating, Ben. Not only is this the most interesting strategy I've seen in my entire trading career, but based on your success, I think it's safe to say that you're becoming the Robin Hood of the trading industry.
Well, again, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, if I wanted to gloat, maybe, but I could go on CNN or Fox Business and other mainstream media outlets to tell Wall Street that I have their number. But Tim, what's the point? For me, all that matters is not only winning big myself, but giving regular people an opportunity to get behind the curtain so they have a chance to enhance their trading potential as well. That's why this patent is so crucial, because it protects you, me, and every other trader looking to take advantage of this information, from the Wall Street insiders and institutional traders who want to keep their edge in the markets hidden.
It's understandable. You now have the playbook, which, as you mentioned, is 100% legal. So the last thing you want is for some greedy Wall Street insider to compromise it and make it unavailable to the masses.
Exactly. To make it on Wall Street, you have to have this cutthroat mentality anyway, right? They'll do anything to make money. It's funny because what really sealed the deal for me is all this was when another Wall Street Journal article wrote, if some malefactor decides he's going to try and get rich on inside information, if there are options out there on the stock, well, that's what he'll use because he'll do better that way. I mean, seriously, if this is how the 1% are feasting day in and day out, I'd be foolish to ignore it. And luckily, this proprietary spider technology makes it attainable for regular traders like you and me.
Now, when you say proprietary, what does that entail? And how are you using it to find such prolific trade setups?
So real quick, while this is all public information, barely anyone knows where to find and exploit it for optimal setups. And I think it mainly comes down to the common belief that insiders are still hanging around in the, over-the-counter or OTC penny stock markets. But this isn't the 1990s or early 2000s anymore. Insider pump and dumps, well, they aren't a common occurrence in 2023. And this is why the smart money has switched up its game plan to take advantage of blue chip stocks within the options market. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Not only are they cheaper, but options behave almost identically to penny stocks. So just like our greedy friends on Wall Street, we are getting the best of both worlds here. However, it's no secret that option chains are, well, they're extremely overwhelming. You have metrics like implied volatility and time decay and the Greeks that throw most option traders off their game. Not to mention keeping those, intimidated by the thought of trading options, just like I was, far away. So knowing this, we've worked extensively to program the Spider with over 20 billion rows of options data to effectively do all of the work for us. Meaning all day, every day, it's able to crawl through 5,000 plus stocks and analyze large swaths of specific options data in the background. When everything appears to line up perfectly, boom, the stealth sweep is triggered. In fact, this is exactly what happened with our most recent advanced micro devices trade that ended up skyrocketing 233% in just 2 days.
Do you mind walking us through that one?
Of course. So if you take a look here, you can see that AMD stocks suffered a steep 20% decline, as financial news outlets were warning of a weak PC market, which in the land of blue chips is, it's significant and not very attractive for traders looking to go long. However, while most overlooked AMD's chances to the upside, the Spider tirelessly crawled through the market for opportunities and eventually pinpointed a series of suspiciously large stealth sweeps that totaled about $599,000 back on May 8th. Now, I don't know about you, Tim, but there's no way I'd pony up $599,000 on a stock that just lost over 20% of its value in less than 2 months. Unless
you had information that told you otherwise.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% the case here, but $599,000, that's a substantially large bet. It's even more suspicious when you take all the factors working against the stock into consideration. Yet, as expected, AMD stock ended up surging over $10 in price, resulting in a peak of 233% on that option in just 2 days. So while most traders had, written off AMD for the time being, the Spider, it did all the analysis and identified for us, allowing us to take advantage of this opportunity. There was literally nothing to calculate except a potential entry position.
It's pretty amazing. So the Spider provided everything from the ticker to the option contract to the exact amount of money insiders were betting on that stock.
Yes, that's the most important factor because money is really the only element we can truly trust, especially when a single stealth sweep looks like a series of multiple 401k accounts, like this Spider alert I saw regarding Google on May 10th.
Wow, 138,000, 123,000, 580,000, and 2.15 million. Someone clearly knew something that day.
Well, we don't know for sure, but we do know that this large stealth sweep was just days after Google had experienced, quite a bit of negativity in the media. I mean, they were all over the headlines, from Google employees complaining about CEO Sundar Pichai's pay bump amidst, company-wide cuts, to their, persistent ad revenue slump hurting Alphabet's first quarter results. Even criticism on how Google is losing the AI race. Yet someone still had the confidence to tie up a total of $3.1 million in these options contracts, which was my clue, to take advantage of this myself. And I watched as this stealth sweep on Google hit a peak price increase of 180%. As Google parent company Alphabet surprisingly unveiled new AI tools that boosted its value by $115 billion.
That's incredible. Yet I bet you every dollar I have that 99 out of 100 traders wouldn't have caught that. But this just goes to show that you can't really trust the mainstream sources. Because not only will you never hear about these opportunities, but if they decide to cover these setups, they'll often provide a negative narrative.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want to get too controversial here, but the media, Wall Street, insiders, I think they're all in bed with one another. So they'll do anything to distract us regular people from honing in on the opportunities that could better our lives. In fact, if you take a look here, between May 10th and May 14th, it seemed like the only news anyone wanted to report was that Amazon was physically taxing and dangerous place to work, and that their free cash flow, was now a whopping $3.3 billion in the red.
Ouch, negative $3.31 billion in free cash flow. That's every value investor's nightmare scenario.
Exactly. And for traders, it's not any better, especially considering that this type of negative coverage can heavily impact short-term prices. However, while most may have been turned off by this type of news, the Spider, again, working tirelessly behind the scenes, ended up identifying an incognito insider that had snatched up a large batch of out-of-the-money call options worth $417,000. So once again, we clearly had the evidence that someone important knew something. But here's the thing. Unlike in the past, this type of opportunity wasn't reserved for just the 1% who knew about it. Because if any retail trader had access to the Spider, they could have joined piggybacking on this stealth sweep themselves. Not only witnessing Amazon stock jump 8%, but also seeing an explosive peak move of over 280% in just 3 days.
280% in just 3 days? That is just incredible. I hope everyone joining us tonight is starting to realize just how elite this strategy is. Because from what you've shown us so far, Ben, catching stealth sweeps like this seems like an inevitable way to come out profitable. The proof is simply too incredible to say otherwise.
Well, let's be clear. Catching stealth sweeps like this isn't always going to generate wins 100% of the time. It's trading. I still experience a small loss here and there, but when the winners hit, they hit big. In fact, remember that NVIDIA trade I mentioned earlier? The one that surged 122%? It's important for everyone to know that in the trade right before that, I ended up experiencing a small 20% loss. And sure, it's a loss, so it stung a bit. But even with that one loss, I continued to leverage the Spider to my advantage. And I not only witnessed that 122% win on NVIDIA right after, but I also saw 7 straight winning trades in a row. And that included a nice 539% win on Google. Again, all from the help of the Spider and its proprietary ability to identify these insider stealth sweeps. So when you look at the big picture, that small 20% loss was nothing compared to the peak moves of 100%, 122%. And yes, even 539% that took place after the fact. When you factor in that the Spider has shown, an 88.4% win rate in the last 6 months, it's pretty amazing. After 20 years of being inside the markets, I've never been more excited about the future. Now, again, I'm not promising that you're going to see these types of returns or even a win rate like this. I'm just showing you the success I've experienced as a trader leveraging the Spider, which is why this training is vital for everyone joining us tonight. Because now, after decades and decades of missing out, well, you can overcome this information chasm, be a part of the trades that you're not supposed to know about, the kind of news you usually read in the headlines weeks after the fact. So I want to pose a simple question to everyone watching. Where do you see yourself in 7 days? Because the Spider just detected a gigantic stealth sweep. Now, right now, you can get into that. Yes, that's right. A wealthy, anonymous insider just tipped off my patented indicator. And based on the size of their investment, it looks like something huge is about to transpire. So if you want the details behind this trade before the general public hears a whisper about it, I want to give you personal login access to the Spider so you can immediately discover the name of this company along with the ticker symbol. And I want to get the details to you within the next 5 minutes.
Well, you definitely have my attention. I'm sure everyone at home feels the same. So how can everyone watching get access to the Stealth Sweeper?
Well, I could just give everyone the details behind the brand new trade the Spider just detected. However, I'm kind of in a dilemma because, remember that burning match analogy? Like priceless information, an entire investing system like this can lose some of its effectiveness if it becomes too widely known. That's exactly why we took decisive action to safeguard this system's exclusivity by securing a patent. But it's also why in order to protect the SPDR's proprietary investing edge, I can only share what I'm talking about today with the first 300 people who take action tonight. First come, first serve. And I realize that's just a tiny percentage of the 300,000 readers on our email list. But, let's be honest. If every single person got access to this strategy that crawls through the market and detects the exact dollar amount that wealthy insiders are piling into certain stocks, well, then I'm running the risk of this trading edge being, watered down and the stealth sweep opportunities being diluted. And since I use the SPDR in my personal trading account every single day, as selfish as it may be, I'm not willing to let that happen.
That makes sense. Just a moment ago, we talked about how precious information is and how it can make folks insanely wealthy and how it can become completely worthless after the masses pass it around. No one can argue that fact.
Exactly. So here's how we're going to do it. If you are decisive enough to claim one of these 300 spots for yourself, you will have personal access to the SPDR watch list. Will be automatically alerted to the stealth sweeps every single time one takes place. Again, these happen every single day, sometimes multiple times per day. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you'll have to trade every single alert. It's really up to you to decide which ones you want to get in on. Also, keep in mind that you aren't required to trade options either. If trading the stock is more your thing, hey, more power to you. When leveraging the SPDR, the only thing that matters is when you place a trade. Now, you can know with 100% certainty the exact amount of money a wealthy insider has just piled in, down to the exact dollar amount. Just like the SPDR trade on AMD that resulted in a 28-hour peak price gain of over 233%. Just one of these trades would outperform the annual return of some of the world's so-called best investors. This access alone could be the beginning of a brand new level of trading potential for those who chose to leverage it.
Well, look, personally, I'm sitting here thinking, instead of trying to read stock patterns using VWAP, drawing lines all over my charts, I could have a patented system literally crawling through the deepest shadows of the market, detecting real-time smart money bets with an 88% win rate behind it while I sleep, mentor, or do whatever else I want to do.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so in love with what we've been able to develop. Because not only does the SPDR do exactly what you just said, but it provides me and others peace of mind knowing that no one else can replicate its power, including the hedge funds, institutional traders and wealthy elite, who frankly hate that I'm even releasing this unprecedented technology. Again, the patent protects us all. And my brand new service, SPDR Trades, it's the only place in the world anyone can get access to it. But remember, access, it's only for the first 300 motivated members. Well, for now.
Definitely understandable. Now, real quick, to everyone joining us tonight, I'd highly suggest paying close attention to what I'm about to ask next, because this is a truly groundbreaking moment for us retail traders that could redefine what it means to work towards being truly profitable. So with that said, men, what are the steps needed to start leveraging the SPDR and these stealth sweep trades today?
So for the first 300 traders who want exclusive access to this brand new service, I want to make sure you're appropriately introduced to the SPDR and really understand its uncanny ability to track where the wealthy elite are piling their money so you can exploit it for your own gain. And to help with that, I want to give you access to the first issue of my exclusive SPDR handbook, free of charge. Now, don't worry, this is not a 500-page epic saga, right? It's a short, value-packed, actionable book that takes about 15 or so minutes to read to help you get up to speed immediately. Simply put, with the information detailed in this handbook, well, you can, fast-track your way to being in the room alongside the insiders, the hedge funds, and institutional investors without breaking a single law or paying millions for alternative data. In addition to this handbook, well, I'll immediately send you all the details regarding the stealth sweep opportunity that the SPDR has just detected.
So in truth, just with these resources, members could begin piggybacking on a potential winning trade tonight.
Yep. There will be nothing standing in their way once they receive access. Now again, I'm not promising any result here, but with this specific stealth sweep opportunity that the SPDR has just identified, the match has already been lit. Based on the size of this stealth sweep, this wealthy insider is feeling confident about something, just as we've seen with all the other trade examples I've shown tonight. The only difference with this one is that you now have the opportunity to get in alongside of them. In fact, the stealth sweep could be similar to when the Spider detected one anonymous individual placing a huge $194,300 investment into Tesla, resulting in a peak of 140% gain in just 24 hours. Or like when the Spider detected a stealth sweep of $284,000 in Intel, and that delivered a peak move of 50% in 5 days. Obviously, I'm extremely passionate about trading advancement and the potential that it holds, but all the valuable details you need in order to take advantage of this next one are all laid out. You just need to be among the first 300 members to access it.
Okay, just to clarify, this is the same technology used to garner an 88.46% win rate in just 6 months, and all that's needed to unlock this patented trading edge is a risk-free trial run of Spider trades.
That's it. Plus, this way, they won't be restricted after just one exciting trade. So instead of taking advantage of this one stealth sweep opportunity, new members will have the opportunity to piggyback on these massive insider bets every single day of the week. Now, Tim, I'm pretty ambitious. And thanks to the track record the Spider has helped me produce, I trade every single day. But if you're new at this, you may not want to start, that way. Maybe you just want to start with 1 a week or 3 a week. It doesn't matter how you want to leverage the Spider, because regardless of how often you place a trade, the only thing that matters is that when you do decide to trade a stealth sweep, you'll always know you're trading with the smart money, not against it.
I'm blown away, Ben. Seriously. I can only imagine what the average trader would pay to get private access to a patented trading system that alerts you to some of the market's most significant moves every single day in enough time to potentially get in along for the ride. And more importantly, alerts them days and weeks before the mainstream financial press and money Twitter gets a hold of it. It's just nuts. So quickly, before I get ahead of myself, with the tool as proprietary and as advanced as this, I know there's going to be tons of questions, especially on how you'll be delivering the alerts. So could you dive a little deeper into how Spider trades actually will work?
Absolutely. So here's what makes the Spider levels above every other trading system I've ever seen. Even beyond its proprietary and patented technology, once you log in, you'll immediately have access to the Spider's top stealth sweep picks, right? That insiders have been piling money into directly from the platform itself, meaning the stock and the trade size of these insiders will be crystal clear for you. So with that information alone, anyone with access can amplify their trading potential, because not only do they see where the big money is going, but they can exploit these massive insider bets for themselves. And in addition to always being up to date on the largest stealth sweep opportunities in the market, members will receive my deep dive stealth sweep morning analysis, where I'll provide brief commentary on the stealth sweeps the Spider has identified, with entry and exit guidelines on the most promising alerts. Now keep in mind, even with these unique opportunities, well, there's always a risk of losing money while trading, including your entire position. That's why, win or lose, I'd much rather place my trades alongside the guys who are actually moving the markets rather than against them.
Okay, but don't these moves happen really fast? How much time do you have to get into these stealth sweep trades before you actually miss the opportunity?
So while there really isn't a cut and dry answer to this, one of the true benefits of trading these stealth sweeps is that you're getting information before everyone else. Meaning often, the massive insider bets triggering these stealth sweeps are getting in well before prices really take off. So even if you're the type of person who has to stare at their screens for 30 minutes before pressing the buy button, well, you're still in good shape to potentially catch the huge move up. Take our GM trade in March, which experienced a peak of 87% move in just 48 hours, for example, or our trade on Amazon that spiked 120% in just 24 hours. As you can see, you don't have to worry about missing out on a trade if you're not at your phone or computer within a few minutes of an opportunity being alerted.
That makes sense. Now, I know we're getting to the point where you'll officially open access to Spider trades, but I still have a couple more questions that I'm sure most of our audience is still curious about as well.
Sure, go for it.
You hinted at this earlier, but I want to clarify. Does the Spider trading strategy require trading options?
That's a good question. Let me be clear. You do not have to trade the options to see success with this strategy. It's completely up to you how you want to trade these stealth sweeps. Again, all that matters is that you're trading alongside the smart money every time you place a buy order. Now, I will say that since most of the trades the Spider detects our S&P 500 stocks and large blue chip stocks, you'll see large percentage gains, larger gains with the options. I know I mentioned an Amazon trade earlier, but had you traded the stock, not only would you have to have a lot of risk and a large position size, but the end result would have only been an 8% gain. Is it huge? No. Is it still a nice gain? Sure. But with the option contracts that I purchased, I was able to see a 280% gain instead of an 8% gain. This huge difference in gains, what's the very reason these wealthy insiders place their smart money bets inside the options market? Because as I just showed you, the returns can be astronomical compared to the stock gains.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with that answer. But how much money would someone need to get started trading these stealth sweeps?
That's another beautiful aspect of this strategy. Option contracts are pennies on the dollar compared to the stock price. So while Amazon's stock price may be $115, $120 a share, a single contract for options may be priced at 75 cents, to $1. So really, you can get started with as little as a few $100, making this great for beginners because, a potential 100% or 280%, even a 539% gain is still phenomenal for a $200 account size. But if you have a couple of $1,000 to start with, even better. I'd like to say, although we've seen some massive gains today, and those are the ones that, get your blood pumping, I want you to remember that we're playing the long game here. We're not gambling here. The goal should be to leverage the spider to grow your trading account over time. And that's what I'm here for, to help guide and mentor you to become a successful trader and to develop an edge that no one can take away from you.
Okay, so just to make sure everyone understands so far, the only resources founding members of Spider Trades should expect to receive are the daily Stealth Sweep alerts, the Spider Watch List, and the Spider Handbook, correct?
Actually, no. I was debating on whether I wanted to roll this out immediately or not, but since we have so many who took the time to join us, I'm just going to lay it all out for everybody.
All right, now we're talking. What else do you have for us?
So in addition to the Spider Traders Handbook that I'll send over, founding members will not only receive exclusive 1-year access to the Spider, where you'll get your very own private login so you can access the Spider watch list and leverage the top stealth sweeps within the market every single day, along with a morning breakdown with precise entry and exit instructions, but you'll also receive instant access to my new video series, How to Trade Stealth Sweeps Like a Veteran Trader. This video training is the perfect combination to the handbook every new member will be receiving. In fact, this multi-video series was aimed at giving you a real-life visual of all the inner workings of the Spider and how I personally leverage it inside of my account to help provide for me and my family. This video series is the pinnacle of information I've accumulated over my many years of trading, combined with an inside look at the patented tool no other trading system can compete with. Because remember, trading can be a wild game, and there's always a risk of losing money. And it's so important to have a solid foundation of how I leverage the Spider to catch these potentially explosive stealth sweeps.
Wow, it's quite a bit of value you're dishing out there, Ben. I know most trading programs out there only give you the bare bones, but this is a full suite of advanced trading education, paired with a mentor who's passionate about the strategy and genuinely motivated to help members reach a new level of success. I can't imagine anyone letting this opportunity pass them by.
I appreciate that, Tim. I definitely know, what it's like to be on the other side of things, the frustration, the self-doubt, wondering why I'm not succeeding. It can really weigh on you. But now that I'm on this side of the information chasm, it only seems right to officially get this into the hands of those who are looking for more, but just haven't found it yet. So with that said, here's some more value for you. In addition to everything I've just mentioned, I'm also going to be hosting weekly Stealth Sweep Spotlight videos, where I'll conduct a pinpoint analysis on the most profitable Spider trades of that week, giving you valuable insights into the cause and effect of that week's huge Stealth Sweep winners, so you can learn how I think and see the market through the exact same camera lens as me. To get even more in-depth on these opportunities, I'll also host a live midday mentoring session for all members every day the market is open. So after the morning commentary with my suggested stealth sweep trade instructions, I'll jump back on camera to give you a full rundown of the market midday to show you where new opportunities are headed and what to keep an eye on as we capitalize on these massive stealth sweeps together. And just to put this out there, you don't need to worry about missing any of these updates. My team will post the recordings in the members area for those who can't attend these live calls. If you have any questions at all regarding your elite membership inside of Spider Trades, you'll have complete access to the Spider customer care team that will gladly answer and walk you through everything you need over the phone. So with all those resources at your fingertips, really the sky is the limit when it comes to your trading journey.
Well, given everything you've just mentioned, plus the patent-protected investing edge that showed an 88.46% win rate over the last 6 months, I don't think $10,000 or even $11,000 would be an excessive amount for folks to pay to gain access to this proprietary investing system, especially when you account for the fact that it's crawling through the deepest shadows of the market and detecting gains like 122% on NVIDIA in 4 days, 233% on AMD in 2 days, 346% on Palantir PLTR in 10 days, an incredible 1,025% gain on Google in just 4 days. I mean, Ben, considering that hedge funds and wealthy institutions invest over $3 billion every year into alternative data to obtain an investing edge over their competitors, you could make the argument for charging $15,000, $20,000 or more a year for individuals to gain private access to your Spider investing system.
Well, that's exactly why we're hosting this event, to even out this huge information chasm and help level the playing field between the wealthy elite and the everyday people who built this great country, but somehow seem to always end up with the short end of the stick. Because I want to be part of the solution. I'm not going to charge $20,000, even $10,000, even $5,000, which is the true retail price. I think $5,000 is an absolute steal, especially since I made almost $4,000 on one quick stealth sweep trade the other day. But still, even with that said, this is where everyone needs to pay close attention. Since I'm only making 300 charter memberships available today, meaning that less than 1% of the 300,000 readers on our list will even have a chance to access this patented system, I'm going to do something extremely unusual. I'll get to that in just a minute. But first, I have a question for you, Tim. I know you've been around trading the markets for quite some time. And you've seen firsthand with all the millionaire traders you're in contact with every single day. So let me ask you, what is the most important trait you've seen in all the success stories that you've come across?
If I had to pick one, no doubt it would be decisiveness. The best traders in the world don't sit around thinking for weeks about what they're going to do. And when it comes to trading, they don't fall in the category of copy and paste traders who consistently lose by blindly copying trades in hopes of getting rich quick. They do the work, they learn, and they make decisive actions based on their goals.
Exactly. I know for a fact that I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my personal trading experience, my education, and the intuition I've built up over the years. But more importantly is my ability to act on those intuitions. So with that said, and to reward the action takers, here's what I'm gonna do. If you're one of the first 300 people to take decisive action, you won't have to pay the normal $5,000 price tag to get private access to my patented Spider system. Instead, I'll give you a 1-year charter membership to Spider Trades for only $1,995.
Wow, that's 60% off the initial launch price. But just to be clear, that's only for the first 300 folks on a 300,000 member mailing list, right?
Yes. Once the spots are full, they're gone. No exceptions. And I know this is a unique way to do things, but this is the best way to reward decisive, serious traders who stand out from the rest of the pack. I think now is a perfect time to ask yourself, am I a serious trader? And listen, if you're not ready to commit to that, it's okay. But I'm reserving these 300 coveted spots for those that are. And since you have thousands of readers with huge aspirations to become better traders, I have no doubt these spots will fill up quickly.
All right, folks, you heard the man. Honestly, this is one of the most innovative and breakthrough strategies I've come across the last 10 to 20 years. But given the fact that Ben's Spider technology for spotting wealthy insiders' trades is backed by an official US patent, I guarantee these spots won't last long. you should see a button appear on your screen any moment now. So if you're interested in joining Ben, simply click the link and see all the details.
Oh, one more thing. Just a moment ago, I talked about rewarding action takers. And there's something I was kind of going back and forth about whether or not I should do, but I've made my decision. I want to go a step further. For the first 300 folks who become charter members of Spider Trades, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and offer my bulletproof Spider guarantee. Since my Spider trading system is one of a kind, and because I truly believe it's the best strategy to leverage inside the markets, I'm going to give you 30 days to test drive the service. Open up a few stealth sweep trades and see if this unique system is, what you expected. The Nvidia trade that went up 122% played out in just 4 days, meaning you would have had 26 days to still see if Spider Trades is a good fit for you. In the rare event you aren't completely satisfied, for any reason, just call up our responsive US-based member care team within these 30 days, and they will gladly give you a full credit refund for the total amount you paid today. This credit refund can be applied to, any other of the countless world-class services we have to offer.
Well, everyone, if that doesn't show you Ben and his system are the real deal, then I don't know really what will.
I can make all the promises in the world and put all the risk on my shoulders, but there does come a point where you have to decide what you want to do and take action. You have to decide if you're going to be like most retail traders and just keep complaining about the rigged stock market, or if you're going to leverage a strategy like the one I revealed today and get on the same side as these wealthy investors. So many traders continue to use the same outdated trading strategies and wonder why nothing ever changes. You don't have to be one of them.
Folks, this will probably be the only time you'll ever get the opportunity to access a trading system that not only has a winning rate of 88.46%, but one that's so proprietary and powerful that it's backed by a US patent. Ben's ready to send you all the details behind the brand new stealth sweep his Spider system has just alerted him to. And based on the number they just piled into this company, one thing is for certain. They're extremely confident they know something the rest of us don't. But once the 300 spots are gone, it's over. And you may never get another opportunity to leverage a system like the Spider ever again. Now it's time to decide if you're serious or not, because the train is about to leave the station. So click the button on your screen right now if you're ready to take your trading to the next level. Ben, we're almost out of time. Do you have any final thoughts?
Now remember, headlines, CEOs, and politicians, they lie. But money always tells the truth. The wealthy elite we discussed today literally have the best connections in the world. They have access to insider information, and they're soon going to be spending $100 billion a year to access alternative data to keep their massive edge in the market. So why would anyone think a simple pattern or trading strategy like technical analysis alone will help them keep up? I'd much rather leverage a system that works for me 24/7 to crawl through the deepest shadows of the market and to alert me to what these wealthy insiders are doing with their whole cold hard cash in real time. In the end, you get to decide what is best for you. I know I will continue to leverage the Spider inside of my own personal trading account. And if you want to join me, these 300 charter memberships, they're going to be snatched up quickly. And this opportunity will be over in the blink of an eye. So if you're ready to get started, click on the button below.
Well, there you go, everyone. You've seen the proof. You've seen just how powerful this patented Spider technology is. So if you're looking to elevate your trading potential more than you ever thought possible, this is an opportunity you do not want to take lightly. Now, I'm already getting word that quite a few of the spots are getting snatched up. So if you're still on the fence, make sure you click here to get the full details on the exclusive deal Ben is offering us tonight. And don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to review all of the membership details before officially joining. But don't hesitate. Opportunities like this don't come around often. And unfortunately, once they're gone, they're gone. So my advice, be decisive. I trust you'll do what's best for you and your family. That's about all the time we have. Ben, thanks again so much for coming on camera and sharing all this information with us.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks so much to everyone who joined us here tonight. It's been a lot of fun to officially share all of this.
Heck, it's been a lot of fun to actually see this system and what you've been able to develop. Thank you again so much for sharing all this information with all of us retail traders. And to everyone watching tonight, I applaud you for taking this opportunity to learn and discover this new groundbreaking way of trading that Ben has discovered. This has definitely been the most exciting training I've ever been part of. And I know those who officially get access to Spider Trades tonight will agree. Anyway, that's it from me. Good night, everyone. Click the button below to claim one of these spots while they're still available. And thank you again for joining us at the Stealth Trading Summit.